Good morning, everybody. Coach Todd Harris here. Another beautiful morning. Great morning for walking talks. You know, I'm a firm believer everybody needs to be trained on what to do when. You know, I've been an entrepreneur for 38 years now. For 36 years, I've been a coach in one way, shape, or form. Whether it be coaching athletes in sports, coaching business people, just coaching people in general on how they want to better themselves, just to improve where they're at in their situation. And I'm a firm believer everybody needs to know what to do when they're staring in the mirror. What I mean by that is, you know, the first story that comes to mind is I had a former client that when we started, the conversation was, you know, I was working at this place, man, they just didn't know what they were doing. They were idiots, they were dumb, nobody was motivated, you know, nobody wanted to do anything. The culture was just bad, okay? Did you see that when you first went in? I didn't see it when I first went in, but man, after being there for 6 months, a year, just everything was going bad, okay? Where'd you go next? Went to this next company, and how long were you there? Man, like a year and a half. Okay, what happened? Man, they just didn't know what they were doing. Systems, processes were wrong. You know, they didn't have this and they have that. Okay, cool. We went down the list of about 4 other jobs just the same way. Every time something was wrong. All right. Well, tell me about your friendships. Who's your best friend? Well, I don't really have any friends. What do you mean? You know, every time I get a friend, man, they're not there for me. They get a negative attitude, and you start out great, and then they don't want to support me, and they push my dreams down. And well, tell me about some of your friends. Tell me about some of their friends, 5, 6 different friends they've gone through. And so I just listened, and they ranted for like 15 minutes. And I said, let me ask you a question. There's a song called Man in the Mirror. Have you taken a really hard look at the man in the mirror? What do you mean? He said, I don't understand. What do you mean? Well, I mean, it's hard for me to think that you've gone through a lot of friends and you couldn't find one to hit, just one. You've had, I don't know, you said 6 jobs? 6 jobs? None of them lasted more than a year and a half, 2 years. They all end the same way. Something was bad at the company. Something was wrong at the company. You've given me several other situations where things just they weren't good. And have you ever thought there's one common denominator in all these situations? And it was so funny. They just said, so you figured it out? You figured out the common denominator? Why all these companies are bad and these people just aren't worth having as friends? I said, I didn't say that. I just said there's one common denominator. He looked at me and goes, well, share this insight with me. I said, the one common denominator is you. Maybe you were the problem. I said, maybe you weren't. But have you ever thought that you've been through that many jobs and not one of them worked out? Not one worked out? Not one was just okay? And everything you say is around how they did so much wrong and the culture was all wrong and the energy was all wrong. Have you ever thought that maybe it was right before you got there? And it was just crazy, this bewildered look. And then silence. Then I could see his eyes watering up a little bit, and he goes, thank you. So what do you mean? He goes, nobody's ever been honest with me like that. Maybe I am the problem. Can we dive into that? It was crazy. We spent about 8 or 10 weeks just diving into a lot of different things and the way he views things, the way he sees things. And about 4 weeks in, he goes, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I might have been the problem. I didn't want to hear that when you first told me. Because honestly, when you first told me, I was mad. I was really upset with you. But I just known you so long, and I know I know how much work you've done with people that I didn't want to yell at you. And I said, I appreciate that. Sometimes it's hard to look at the man in the mirror and go, am I the problem? How do I fix this? How do I make me better? So I'm just going to ask everybody today, go look in the mirror. Look at that man or woman in the mirror. Look at yourself. And don't say what's wrong, because that's easy. We can all look in the mirror and we can all say, oh, that's wrong, and that's wrong, that's wrong, and that's wrong. Just say, man, how can I be better today? Just today. I'm not even worried about tomorrow. We don't even know if tomorrow's going to be here. How do I get better today? I use the model +1. I just need to be 1% better today than I was yesterday. And if you compound that out for a year, man, the growth you can have. And I always say, if a plane took off from Charlotte today and it was just, you take out your protractor, for you guys that know what that protractor is. You take out a protractor and you measure 1 degree on the protractor, doesn't seem like a lot. But when you measure those lines out from here to Germany, your plane doesn't land where it's supposed to land. 1 degree is a lot. So just making 1 degree of change a day can change your life. So I'm going to ask you guys, take a look in the mirror today and say, what's the 1% about me that I can improve today?